Hey, good morning, young composers. This is a check-in this weekend to see how things are going with you and just to give you some quick pointers here. Um, so hopefully everybody started the file that was called hashtag my melody. And if for some reason you didn't, or if you were having a hard time finding where that file was, you know what you can do is you can just open up a new score, come up with a cool name for it, and then in the subtitle, like I'm doing right now, put hashtag my melody. So the reason why we have that name is that we want to be able to let our mentors know and also let me know that this is the piece of music that you are working on that you would really like to get performed by some real musicians. Okay. Um, so basically at this point we've been working on our melody because the melody is the most important part of your music. It's the most distinguishing, identifiable component of your music. When people hear your melody, they go, "Oh yeah, that's this person's piece of music." So here's my melody so far. I just made this up this morning as I was looking outside and I saw that it snowed a little bit. My melody is called White Tundra. Okay, so you want to think about, does it did I decide on a home note? um, did I start and end on the same note? And I did here. Okay, I started on E and I ended on E. Okay. Did I use mostly steps and only a few skips? I think I pretty much did that. Let's listen. Yeah, and I think I like that. And the next question is your melody memorable? Can you sing it without using note flight, playing it? And so if I were to try that, do 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 do. It's pretty catchy for me, so I think I like it. Okay, and then step 4 here is your melody 4 measures long. And look at 1, 2, 3, 4. So far, as far as starting my melody, I think I completed step 1. Okay, now with going on to step 2, which is expanding the melody. Did I make my four measure melody into an 8 measure melody? Well, not quite yet. So here's how I'm going to do that. I think I like the idea of actually just copying and pasting. I hold Shift, select the first measure, keep Shift down, select the last measure, and then I'm going to hit Control C. Okay. Then I just click this last little bar line like that and hit Control V, and look what it does for me automatically. So now my melody is a total of 8 measures, but I don't think I'm going to want it just to repeat exactly the same thing. So here's some ideas that I could do here. Let's see. It says, does your expanded measure melody, it measures 5 through 8, which would be here, 5 through 8. Um, does it use some of the same rhythms and ideas from the first part? Well, since I copied and pasted, yes, it did. Okay. Um, so now maybe I can just try. Maybe I can even just try bumping everything up. Highlight everything by holding Shift and hit the up arrow, and then making the last note end on E. So let me see what that sounds like. Yeah, in this case, I don't think I like that as much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move notes up and down until I like them. So let's see if I like this so far. So I like that, and it uses the same measure, the same rhythm as my opening part here. So it kind of brings the whole melody together. Excuse me, but it's higher up in the notes, so it changes it enough to make it interesting. And then for the last part, I can go. Maybe I'll start high. See how I'm kind of doing the opposite of what I did here. I went from low to high. This time I'm gonna go from high to low. Bum 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 bum. Mm-hmm. Let's see what this sounds like. Okay, so do you see what I did there? I basically used the same rhythms that I used for my first four measures, and I used them again in the next four. And then I just changed the notes around so that it wasn't exactly the same. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do. I'm going to hit save because I like that. But also, just another idea too. I could always copy this, paste this like that, and then maybe just change the ending like this. So this way the beginning would be the same of my second part. And then just maybe change the ending. That's another option. I mean, there's so many things you can do. You guys have so much freedom, and I don't want my suggestions to make you feel like you can't do what you want to do, because there is actually so much freedom in what you can do with this. Okay. Um, yeah, it's important to end on the home note even after you expand your melody. So again, I ended on E here. Sometimes what helps it kind of sound neat, if I want to not end the first melody on the home note, or I should say the first half of the melody, like maybe I want to end it like here or something like that, like anything but the home note, that might help it. Let's see. No, I didn't really like that, but I could, I could end it like that or something like that. I mean, you can just play around with it, but sometimes it helps to maybe not end that first run through of your melody idea. Don't end it on home note, but then end the second one on home note, because that will make it sound like it's more done. That's just an idea, okay? Then another big question, before you call yourself done with this, you want to ask yourself, does my melody express the story, the person, or the object, or the feeling that I want to express? In this instance, I wanted to express a white tundra, which is just talking about like a cold, wintry scene, right? And as I'm looking out my window right now, I see some snowflakes. That was my inspiration. So I kind of like the way that it sounds, and so I'm pretty happy with it, actually. So as long as you're happy with what you're trying to express, then you're good. If not, you can always ask questions on how you can get it to sound a certain way. Remember things we talked about, like with the contour, the shape, right? You usually, like when you make the notes go up or down, you can usually use that to describe whatever you're thinking of. So if you're talking about rain or snow, if you're talking about a bad day, maybe the notes will go down. I mean, just try to be creative and thoughtful about that, okay? And just have a lot of fun with that, okay? Other ideas to help your melody sound better, you can read through those. I already talked about this one, ending the first phrase on any note but not your home note in measure 4, which would be this measure, and then ending the second phrase on your home note. That is a nice way to do it. Just to be really clear, when I say your first phrase, I'm talking about the first 4 measures, and then when I say your second phrase, I'm talking about your second 4 measures, okay? Another idea is to make sure the rhythm seems to pause in the middle, like kind of like a comma in the sentence, and at the end. So you can do this by adding a half note or a rest in measure 4 and 8. Okay, so look at, I did that. Bum, 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 bum. It kind of feels like a comma, right? And then at the end, bum, bum, it feels like a period, right? And the really big thing that makes it a comma, a comma or a period would be whether you end on your home note or not, okay? And then again, you have to ask yourself, is your melody singable, memorable, and do you love it? You got to keep playing around with it until you land on something that you really love, okay? Now, once your melody is about 8 measures long, and again, if you have an idea that maybe makes your melody not 8 measures long, it's okay. You don't want to feel stressed that you have to do a certain thing. This is just an idea for you to kind of use, that would pretty much guarantee, if you kind of follow these steps, that you'd probably come up with something that you like, okay? But feel free to come up with something and then write to me in the comments, like by hitting connect and then adding a comment. Like say, hey, Mr. Henry, my melody, is 7 measures long, but I really like it because this. That's fine. That's totally fine. Okay, the next really fun part change your instrument. So think about all the prelude instruments that you just learned about between band and orchestra. And also, I need to include, I didn't write this down on the sheet, but we definitely need to include it. But choir, voices, okay? Like let's say you wanted to write for kids at Neuqua Valley's choir, right? Then you can go to the instruments here, click the little pencil, go to where it says a vocal, and you can make it, I might like make it women's voices, and see what it sounds like now. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that would be really neat. That way I can get some choir students involved too. And even later, I mean, if you like words, if you're good with words, I can show you how to add words to your melody too. Or you can, like I said, you can choose really any of those prelude instruments, because then you know that they're going to be there at Neuqua Valley, and you'll know that you'll have some people who can play them, okay? So if you like strings, you can go to bowed strings and choose the violin. I like the violin section. But yeah, spend some time just listening to different instruments, coming up with something, your instrument that you really, really love and you love the sound of, okay? That's really important. And then the next step is make sure in your score, go to the connect button, okay? And you want to make sure that you've shared it. So like my score says this score is not currently shared. So I want to hit change that, and I'm going to go to you can either click all site members or you can click groups. If you hit groups, you have to type in young and then click young composers. That pops up like that. Okay, and then you just click save. And now it's saved. If you I should say now it's shared. If you don't share it like that, then that means that your mentors, people who want to comment on your score, they won't be able to see it. So yeah, that's not so fun. All right. Let's see, I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah, so just feel free to like look around at other people's music that has been shared, get ideas. But I would really encourage you this weekend, just spend some time in this. The mentors are going to be excited to help you, and they're going to be really encouraging to you and just giving you some ideas, and you know, they can't help you out unless you got some things down in Noteflight. So let's have some fun with this, you guys. This is a really, really important step, but it's a fun step. Just make some time and sit down and compose and see what you can come up with, okay? And then another quick note too, I was going to say, I did send a message out recently about next week. As you're composing this weekend, if there's something that you want to compose like in a different file or whatever, something that's totally made up your own, you can use whatever you want to. Doesn't have to be your hashtag MyMelody, but if you just also work on something else that could be fun, next week I'm going to be looking for some cool music that was composed by our students to get played through the announcements at Clough School, like in the morning. So just an idea, so you might like that idea. So yeah, think about that, all right? Well, thanks for watching the video, guys, and happy composing. Have a lot of fun with it. Take some time. These next couple weeks are really, really important, but it'll be really fun once we get going, okay? All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.